everybody, Ketwolski here, checking in with another one of our hashtag Earl Grey Pour Up video discussions. Today, of course, we have a bunch of exciting topics to get to in regards to the ever-expanding Star Trek universe. Let's pour it up! Alrighty, folks, so let's go ahead and just quickly run through the hot list of the few news stories that are kind of coming out from Secret Hideout / Viacom CBS in relations to the future of the Star Trek universe, both on the screen and off the screen and paper and all that stuff like that. So the first one I want to talk about really briefly is an announcement of a new novel. Now, this is going to be primarily featuring Captain Riker and his wife, Deanna Troi, on board the USS Titan. Now, the official synopsis reads, "The Alpha Quadrant is mired in crisis. Within the United Federation of Planets, a terrorist strike on the shipyards of Mars has led to the shutdown of all relief efforts of millions of Romulans facing certain doom from an impending supernova. But when the USS Titan is drawn into a catastrophic incident on the Romulan Federation border, Captain William Riker, his family, and his crew find themselves caught between these shocking secrets of the enigmatic alien species and the deadly agenda of a ruthless Tal Shiar operative. Forced into a wary alliance with a Romulan starship commander, Riker and the Titan crew must uncover the truth to stop a devastating attack. But one wrong move could plunge the entire sector into open conflict." And here you guys can clearly see the front cover art for this new novel. It looks really great. Love to see both of them in their uniforms, looking rather youthful, looking excited to be a part of what's going on over there in the Romulan Federation neutral zone. Now, the plot synopsis kind of places it right around the short trek that we had from Picard, which was Children of Mars, which is right after the attack on Mars, and kind of that also led into the Star Trek Picard show. So it looks to be kind of placed around that time frame. Now, what's interesting here is a ruthless Tal Shiar operative. Now, the first name that comes to mind is potentially Sela. What a fun way to potentially bring back the character in a novelization version that may lead into her kind of appearing in the second season of Picard. I don't know. I originally theorized that she was going to be in the first season of Picard. I was totally wrong on that, which I admitted in a different video, so you guys can't blame me for it this time. You already did. Can't shame me for it. But this might be a fun way to bring her back as kind of like a unique character that's involved a little bit with what happened to the Romulans, you know, kind of right before, or maybe right after the supernova slammed right into Romulus, destroying it. So I think it's very exciting. I can't wait to read it. It's written by Star Trek novelist James Swallow, so somebody who's got some experience inside the realm. I'm looking forward to actually reading this book. I can't wait to get it. It's going to sit on my bookshelf right next to the other book that I have, which is the Star Trek Picard tie-in novel that came out right before the actual first season, or right around when the first season aired. So I'm very excited about this. Can't wait to read it. Next up, we have a very short, very simple news story, and this comes out of Bloomington, Indiana, and this is the statue bust of Captain Janeway / Admiral Janeway. I think they named it Captain Janeway for the actual statue, commemorating the future birthplace of the fictional Star Trek character. Kate Mulgrew was not necessarily on hand, but virtually available for some comments. She talked a little bit about her role upcoming in Star Trek Prodigy, and how kind of Kurtzman kind of talked her into it a little bit by basically saying, you know, this is going to be a show for future generations, and this is going to be for young kids kind of getting introduced to Star Trek, and this is kind of tying into her accepting a reality that she is in fact a role model for not only young women, but also just young fans of Star Trek. So she talks a lot about that. I'll put the full description of the article down below so you guys can click on that link and kind of go over there and check out all the quotes there. But it was actually interesting to kind of hear her thoughts about it. She's very well spoken. I feel like she's actually much more articulate inside of these interviews regarding Star Trek than I would have thought. And not to say anything about her intelligence, it's about her, you know, I guess passion about talking about Star Trek and being more involved with these projects than she has in the past. So I guess it's a little bit like, wow, okay, she's really excited to be back, which is fantastic. And I'm very, very glad that she is back. I know a lot of you are very glad that she's back, and I can't wait to see more of her in Star Trek Prodigy, whatever her role may be. Alrighty, the next story that I want to talk about, kind of off the heels of that, talking about Star Trek Prodigy, is a composer for Star Trek Prodigy has been named. This individual also previously composed the short trek Q&A. So they've got some experience working in the Star Trek realm and with Secret Hideout / Viacom CBS. The composer's name, and I'm absolutely going to totally butcher it, is Nami Melumad. I'm destroying that. If anybody knows how to pronounce it, throw it up down below. I apologize for mispronouncing the name. I'm not very good at pronouncing names. Those of you who have been subscribed for a while already know that, but for those of you who are new, I'm terrible at it, and I'm always going to be terrible at it. But I just want to get that news out there that a composer has been selected, which is exciting, because I hope that we're going to get to see a main score at some point, maybe coming up in one of these trailers that maybe we'll be getting kind of earlier into next year, kind of middle of next year, as Prodigy kind of continues on and starts, producing. We did get some news from, I think it was New York Comic Con, that Kate Mulgrew said that she had already seen some scripts and had started recording some of her lines already. So the show is clearly in production to some varying degree, and now they're starting to actually get somebody on board to start scoring the episodes and the series as a whole and set the musical tone for this new children's show, but also kind of still available for all ages, in some regards based off of their description. So I'm very excited to hear what the score is going to be. Our final news story of the day deals with Star Trek Discovery Season 3, and this comes in the form of ratings from the Crave Sci-Fi TV streaming platform. It does tie a little bit into the Numeris data, but not quite exactly the same thing. That kind of deals with the broadcast version of Star Trek Discovery, whereas this one's kind of the more streaming side of it. But it is important to note that for the second week in a row, Star Trek Discovery Season 3 has been the #1 streaming show for the platform, beating out all of its previous competitors that, Lower Decks was kind of fighting against, and shows that Star Trek Discovery had fought against during its second and first season run. So that's 2 weeks in a row. We haven't gotten the third week yet kind of posted up for Numeris or for Crave yet, so we'll kind of see. Hopefully we'll get that today, maybe tomorrow. We can talk about that next week. But as of right now, the show's popularity is being consistent. It is still coming in at the top 10 trending things for Netflix, usually for about 2 days after the release of the episode. So we'll see how that kind of continues on throughout the season. We got a lot more episodes to get through, so we'll see if they're going to be able to maintain that momentum. But I did want to keep you guys updated on the fact that the show itself continues to kind of knock it out of the park so far with ratings and trends and people really checking out this season. And I'm glad to see that. That I think the third season so far has been still kind of an increase in quality overall from the first 2 seasons, and that's saying a lot because the second season was pretty good. And I think the third season so far, especially that third episode, is pretty good, and I'm very excited for the 4th episode this week. So hopefully it continues on and continues to get better and better and better as the season goes on, and into season 4 and potentially season 5. All right, guys and gals, that does wrap up my Earl Grey report for today. Kind of a quick one, not a whole lot of news stories kind of going on right now. I think most of the focus, from CBS and Secret Hideout and all that stuff is kind of just on Star Trek Discovery Season 3. They want us to be reporting on that and talking about that. So I'll obviously have my Episode 4 review breakdown coming up here shortly, probably Friday, Saturday time frame. And then, of course, I'll be available for live stream over on Trek Central on Sunday to talk more about my thoughts on Episode 4. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But what do you guys and gals think about all the news that we talked about today? What do you think about the ratings for Star Trek Discovery? What do you think about the composer selection that we've just got for Star Trek Prodigy? And what do you think about this new novel? Do you think it's going to be Sela? Do you think it's going to be somebody else? What do you think is going to happen there? I'm curious to hear what you guys, gals, think about it. Go ahead and get your comments up down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please throw a like and a subscribe up. It helps out the channel so very much, and it enables you to stay up to date with all the latest Star Trek news for TV shows, hopefully the movies, and much, much more for the entire Star Trek universe. So thank you guys for checking out this video, and I'll catch you all next time. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies!